आ गए मेरी मौत का तमाशा देखने।
मोहम्मद में और दाढ़ी वाले उस टेररिस्ट में क्या?
कुछ लोगों ने योग के संदर्भ में प्राणायाम,
क्या अपने आप को मुगले आजम हम लोग का अनारकली समझते?
हम किसी जात पात पंथ धर्म में
हिस्ट्री ऑफ हार्ट डिजीज।
निकल दोस्त, बेकारी नहीं है अपन।
Material surplus will make up for the profound.
They see me playing and they're like, ऐसे तो हम भी खेलते हैं।
कुर्बानी, ये एक शब्द समझाया जाता है हर जवानों को इंडियन आर्मी में, बट क्या हम आम लोग रिकॉग्नाइज करते हैं एक जवान का कुर्बानी को? रिटायरमेंट के बाद कैसे होती है एक आर्मी जनरल का रोजमर्रा जिंदगी? कैसे एडजस्ट करते हैं डिसिप्लिन्ड आर्मी लाइफ के बाद एक कैओटिक सिविल लाइफ के साथ? General Rohit Gupta, combat officer, a very handsome man who has served in the Indian Army for 40 years, and he has been in Rajasthan, in the deserts of Rajasthan, in the high altitude of Ladakh and Baramulla. General साहब, इतना लंबा समय से आर्मी में रहने के बाद ये जिंदगी कैसे है? क्या आप अभी भी सुबह 5 बजे उठ के मन करता है मैं ग्राउंड में जाऊं और पीटी करूं? नींद खुलती है अभी भी सुबह 5 बजे?
First of all, Mr. Rajan Guha, thank you so very much for bringing me in your show. Physical fitness is a personal responsibility. और हम में क्या है कि वो ingrained है physical fitness maintain करना. And मैं तो जिम जाता हूँ सुबह, गोल्फ खेलता हूँ कभी कभी, उसके लिए 4 बजे सुबह उठना पड़ता है। एंड
दीदी क्या कहते हैं कि अभी तो आप रिटायर्ड हो गए हो, सोते रहो ना?
नहीं,
क्या जरूरी है सुबह 5 बजे उठना?
देखिए, बहुत ज़रूरी है। आप रिटायर होते हैं एक प्रोफेशन से, बहुत ज़रूरी है अपने पैशन को फॉलो करने के लिए। कोई भी पैशन हो, आप पेंट करने चाहते हैं, आप ड्रॉ कर म्यूज़िक सुनने चाहते हैं, आप गोल्फ खेलने चाहते हैं, मैं बाइक राइडिंग के लिए कभी चले जाता हूँ, जिम जाता हूँ, स्विमिंग जाता हूँ। तो ये पैशन फॉलो करना रिटायरमेंट के बाद अव्वल दर्जे की चीज़ है। अगर आपके पास पैशन ना हो तो ज़िंदगी बिल्कुल मायूस बन जाती है।
जनरल रोहित, व्हाई डिड यू जॉइन आर्मी इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस? क्या वो ग्लैमर के लिए? क्या वो एक सिक्योर जॉब जैसे गवर्नमेंट जॉब होती है, बड़ा आसानी से शादी हो जाता है जिसके पास गवर्नमेंट जॉब है? क्या वो सेवा के लिए? किसके लिए आपने आर्मी ज्वाइन किए थे?
देखिए,
अब मत कहिए सेवा के लिए।
सिक्योर जॉब है। मोर इंपॉर्टेंट देन इट इज क्लीन, इट हैज गॉट कॉमरेडरी, it has got something to build inside you.
मेरा सवाल था, ये 3 में से एक चूज कीजिए,
तो
सेवा, ग्लैमर या सिक्योरिटी?
The glamour of the uniform, the glamour of serving the country, that's also glamorous, to serve the country.
आर्मी का यूनिफॉर्म में ग्लैमर तो है, बट पावर नहीं है। पुलिस के यूनिफॉर्म में ग्लैमर नहीं है बट पावर है। क्यों नहीं पुलिस? वहां भी 1 तारीख को तनख्वाह मिल जाती है।
Look, let's talk about power. What is so-called power that we look at? It is not power. When the men look at you as a leader and you respond to them as a leader, that is not power. It's a sense of camaraderie, a sense of belonging, a sense of responsibility. देखिए, आप लोग बोलते हैं कि आप बाहर जाते हैं, आपको सलाम मिलते हैं, जी फौज में बहुत सलाम मिलते हैं।
बिल्कुल। And that's the glamour.
No, that is not. Salam is a very, very funny shabd. It is a salute. Okay, let's take back to the old times. A salute used to be given by a person to show that he was empty-handed and he had not come for aggression. आजकल क्या है? Let me do the interpretation of the salute. The man is saying to you when he salutes, I have trust in you with my life if required. Every salute is responded. ये मुझे खत्म करने दीजिए. Every salute is responded Now response is what? Thank you for your confidence in me. If your life is to go, I will ensure it is not for vain.
जनरल साहब,
I am your leader.
जनरल रोहित, अगर सैल्यूट का इतना ताकत है, so why aren't young Indians joining as officers in army where life is so good? Why is that? At the Jawan level, we have a lot of applications, more than we can take, but officers want to do a regular IT job.
Army is a way of life. It's a way of life. And it is not a profession in which you can say that's a 9 to 5 job. ये 24 घंटे का आपका पड़ता है, आपकी फैमिली वगैरह सब कुछ behind है.
But समझ गया, but peacetime army is a great life.
No.
You have been a peacetime army man. You never went to war.
No.
There was no fear of losing life, and even if there is, it's a very small component who was sent to the front to fight terrorists. So a large number of officers, Navy, infantry, they're enjoying good life. But despite that, why are bright Indians from IIT doing business management not wanting to join as officers? What's wrong with the system?
Are you ready for a life less than ordinary? You want a 9 to 5 job? You want to come back home, see the safety of your wife, your children, everything? Then don't join the army. The army is a life which you get benefited with the love of your men, with the camaraderie of your men, with your uniform, the respect, all that. You have to take risk. Risk is part of your job, whether it is in training, whether it is in peacetime operation, or whether it is in war or in counterinsurgency. That risk is an acceptable part of your life, which even your family understands. Your wife understands. Possibly the strongest ingredient in the family is your wife, because she recognizes and sustains it. So therefore, it's a life less than ordinary. It is not an ordinary life. And very few people in the present generation, younger generation, are willing to step out of the safety mold into something that gives you much more than what their life actually is.
Peacetime, बार बार मैं इस बात पे आ रहा हूँ, peacetime आर्मी में रहे, क्या पीस आर्मी का जो जुनून होते हैं एक ऑफिसर का, एक जवान का, वो कहीं ना कहीं खत्म कर देते या कम कर देते, जिस कारण से चाइनीज प्रीमियर जी पिंग हमेशा कहते रहते हैं कि युद्ध आने वाले हैं, कल होगा, परसों होगा, ताइवान के साथ होगा, इंडिया के साथ होगा. क्या युद्ध नेसेसरी है एक एफिशिएंट आर्मी को एफिशिएंट रखने के लिए?
आपने बहुत डेलिकेट चीज छेड़ी है. If you do not have a deterrent army, if you do not have a potential deterrent army which can cause harm to any aggressor,
अगर वो आर्मी बनाएंगे कैसे? अगर आप 40 साल से कोई युद्ध ही नहीं है, पीस टाइम कंट्री है, सब सही है, हाँ इंसर्जेंसी है, टेररिस्ट है,
vast amount of training that goes in. If you say that the army is not exposed to fire, the army, bulk of the army is exposed to fire because the bulk of the army goes through counterinsurgency warfare, whether in the east or in the north in J&K. So they exposed to fire. Second is पीस टाइम में क्या करते हैं? A lot of people say कि फौज कुछ नहीं करती है. वो फौज ट्रेनिंग करती है और ट्रेनिंग इंटेंस होती है, फॉर कन्वेंशनल ऑपरेशन होती है, लाइव फायरिंग से भी होती है. यू आर राइट, इट इज नॉट ट्रू कम्बैट इन्वायरमेंट.
जनरल साहब, आप मान लीजिए जंग में शामिल है और आपके सामने एक पाकिस्तानी सोल्जर है, क्या गुजरेंगे आपका मन से उस समय पे? घृणा, देश, गुस्सा क्या होती है किसी इंडियन आर्मी मैन का मन में जब एक पाकिस्तानी सोल्जर को आमने सामने होता है जंग का सिचुएशन में?
He is a soldier for his country. You're a soldier for your country. Your responsibility as a soldier of your country is to negate his capability. How you negate his capability?
इतना क्लिनिकल रह सकते हैं आप?
Yes, it is clinical. It is clinical. Yes, in combat, जोश आता है, आता है, एग्रेशन आता है।
और ये भी याद आता है कि हमारा सोल्जर को म्यूटिलेट किया गया।
यस,
ये भी याद आता है।
यस, क्यों नहीं आता है? उसका रिवेंज भी होता है।
और वो रिवेंज उस समय एक्शन पे दिखती है।
यस, दिखती है, क्यों नहीं दिखती है?
क्या ये सिमुलेट जो आप कह रहे थे ट्रेनिंग से किया जा सकता है?
क्यों नहीं? मोटिवेशन होती है, मोटिवेशन करी।
किसको सामने एनिमी माना जाएगा ट्रेनिंग में?
ट्रेनिंग के आदमी, यू सिमुलेट द एनिमी, देयर वुड बी एनिमी दैट इज देयर। यस, you don't go and kill in training, but you kill in actual operations.
और क्या चाइनीज सोल्जर को अगर सामने मिले, क्या उतना ही जोश, एंगर एक इंडियन सोल्जर के मन में होता है जो पाकिस्तानी सोल्जर के लिए होती है?
ये देखिए, पहली बात तो चाइनीज के साथ नो शॉट हैज बीन फायर्ड सिंस अ लॉन्ग टाइम, 1965. Now, Chinese against that aggression is not there. There is restraint. However, the example is Galwan. That unit showed a lot of courage. Though no shots were fired, nothing was done, but it was raw courage.
Hand-to-hand fight.
Hand-to-hand fight, which is even more difficult than firing a weapon. A hand-to-hand fight is even more difficult, the most difficult thing to do. And they showed courage of the best rating everything. No army can manage that kind of courage. Our army managed it. So there is the difference. The equation between India and Pakistan is a totally different between armies. And our equation with China is a totally different aspect altogether. They cannot be combined presently. With China, we are on an agreement which is of peace and tranquility.
जनरल रोहित, आपके साथ मेरा निजी कन्वर्सेशन में एक बहुत दिलचस्प चीज़ हमने डिस्कस की। अगर किसी के साथ भी युद्ध होती है, पाकिस्तान हो या चाइना, और वो स्केल अप कर जाती है किसी भी कारण से, तो वो टू फ्रंट युद्ध होगा। अगर चाइना के साथ होता है तो चाइना पाकिस्तान को इन्वॉल्व करेंगे, और पाकिस्तान अगर हारते हुए ऐसे कोई हालत होती है तो वो चाइना को इन्वॉल्व करेंगे। और टू फ्रंट वॉर में अगर इंडिया शामिल होता है, जहां उनको नॉर्थ में चाइना और वेस्ट में पाकिस्तान से फाइट करना पड़े, तो क्या मुमकिन है उस किस्म का जंग हम जीत पाएंगे?
देखिए, पहली बात तो जीतना हारना इज अ डिफरेंट इशू ऑल टुगेदर. And try remembering that it's not only a two-front war. You can call the terrorist front as a half front or a one. It even being called as one front.
मतलब उसी समय आप कह रहे हैं कि टेररिस्ट भी इंडिया को इंटरनली अटैक करेगा.
Yes, internally attack करेगा.
So three front war.
Three front war, 2.5 front war. Some call it that. देखिए, what is more important? This is not an era for war. You have to have deterrent capability. And what is this deterrent capability? The deterrent every nation when it goes to war decides on the objectives it wants to achieve in war. It sand models it, simulates it to decide to check can it achieve it. You have to have a powerful enough capability not only to not him achieve his objectives, but also to cause him harm which is beyond his capacity to accept. No war will take place. So your deterrent capability is the capability of a military that is there. Now, as far as you're talking about a 2.5 front war, do you think that if Pakistan and China attack us, we will be the only country standing and fighting them?
अमेरिका का इंटरवेंशन,
I would not mention countries.
हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है, वो मुद्दा अलग है. एक अमेरिका जैसे
we have the deterrence to deter China and Pakistan from waging war on us.
वो deterrence क्या है? Missiles?
Everything. You got missiles.
क्या हमारे पास वो missiles है?
Yes, you have the missiles with us. We have the air capability with us. We have the nuclear weapon systems with us. So does China have it. So does Pakistan have it. Remember, erstwhile USSR and USA deterred war through mutually assured destruction, MAD. That should the war take place, there is mutually assured destruction.
हमारे पास एक चीज़ नहीं है जो मेरे ख्याल से अगला जंग का एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट एलिमेंट होगी. वो है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वॉरफेयर, AI वॉरफेयर, रोबोटिक वॉरफेयर. अगर चाइना, जो कि एक फौज खड़ा किया है रोबोट्स का, ह्यूमनॉइड रोबोट्स का, अगर वो ह्यूमनॉइड रोबोट्स भेजते हैं गलवान में, अगर चाइनीज ना होके रोबोट्स होते थे, तो क्या उनके साथ ह्यूमन बीइंग्स फाइट कर सकता है? और चाइना ने ऐसे एक फौज खड़ा किया है.
So we are far behind China, and China is much more advanced. You're right. But let's look at robots. what do you want the robots to do? You want them to form assault lines like in 1962, one assault line coming, second assault line coming of robots and trying to attack you. Warfare is not fought like this. Robots are also vulnerable. They were vulnerable to electromagnetic radiations. They're also vulnerable to destruction. Now, what does robot have an advantage? One is he's inexhaustible. He can carry on for hours and hours with whatever load that you put onto it. He does not have fear. You put artificial intelligence into it, he makes his own algorithm, he makes algorithms which have got human sentiments like love, fear.
Well, that won't be in a robot, obviously, which is...
So I'm just trying to point out, robot is not a thing which is supreme in nature. Yes, he is a problem. He can be used for certain purposes, but he has to be controlled today. He is not autonomous. You can't allow him to make autonomous decisions. He has to be controlled. Today, we are talking about, US is talking about wingman. What does it have? He's got an F-35 and he's got an armed UAV next to it. A robot. What do you call a robot? And the wingman is actually either sheltering the F-35 or it is carrying out EW pod or it's carrying out a strike based on what the other aircraft is doing. Why is this? Because the time of reaction, the OODA loop, is being reduced in this. We have something known as the Wolfpack. Our Air Force is talking about. You got robotic UAVs, you got electronic pods with them, you got destructive capability available, and you got various other different family of aircraft.
I'm talking about humanoid robots.
Humanoid robots, I told you.
Replacing infantry.
No, it cannot replace infantry. You cannot have a humanoid in today's environment, in today's technology. You can't have infantry being replaced by robots. You can supplement it. Now, what is supplement? Your first man to attack, the first lot,
are the robots.
In a highly intense environment. Suppose, like you go back to Kargil, you used to climb right up through a non-negotiable slope and place some kind of a device there. That can be done by a robot. You have to go through a minefield. It can be that a robotic dog can clear the minefield for you. You want your arms and ammunition to fetch up. A robotic mule can fetch up for you. It can very much happen. But a robot is also vulnerable to various other issues like electromagnetic pulse. It's not nuclear generated electronic, it needs a power source. Electromagnetic pulse will disintegrate all his electronics.
We do not have a single Indian startup, and there is no government entity either. The government research and development organization, the government owned, are not as yet working actively on AI or humanoid robots. But China has thousands of such companies, private companies, and China's backed by Chinese government with huge subsidies to develop, and there are videos, real videos of humanoid Chinese robots in action. What is the kind of fear element that an Indian army jawan will have? मन में वो क्या डर होगा जो सामने उन्हीं के जैसे देखते हुए एक उनसे ज्यादा शक्तिशाली मेटल का एलिमेंट हो जिनके साथ उनको फाइट करना होगा। जो छलांग मारेंगे तो 2 फीट ऊपर उठ सकते हैं, ह्यूमन बीइंग नहीं कर सकते।
The fear factor is very much there. But then you are trained. Every man fears. Every man has got fear. If you think that a soldier doesn't have fear, he's got fear. But he's got the ability to conquer fear. And that is what he's trained for. It is difficult for a human being to fight robotics. They are, but if he's equipped, suitably equipped. The one thing is robotics, and the second thing is destruction of robots. If he's suitably equipped for destroying robots, he will destroy robots and take
I'll come to the point because you've been part of the procurement team, the top management. क्या अगला warfare human being versus robot होने वाला है या robot versus robot?
स्टार वॉर्स को वहां तक मत ले जाइए अभी।
स्टार वॉर्स की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं जमीन का बात।
तो मैं आपको स्टार वॉर्स की बात कर रहा हूँ कि ये स्टार वॉर्स का देखिए। Firstly, robotics are going to assist the humans to fight war in a big way. Secondly, future war is going to be fought in outer space. Mankind will fight for space and in space. Both have got very big terminology. We're going to find for space, like the wild west of USA. And because that is where the new frontier is going to be. And you're going to fight in space. That means both your weapon system and the neutralization of weapon system shall take place in space. Robotics are going to be used in a very big way there. We are so bogged down with what is happening in ground. We are not talking about that. China has beaten USA and beaten Russia in this field in outer space. They're far advanced of them. We are nowhere there. Our interpretation of outer space is launching a missile, Agni missile, from the ground to intercept a low orbiting satellite and destroying it. It's an ICBM. An ICBM is detected, and ICBM can be destroyed. What you need to do, intercept it in space. Now, that is where we lack our capabilities. So that is what we should be thinking about, because this we are going to look at in the next 20 years.
जनरल रोहित, आपने बहुत अहम चीज कही। आउटर स्पेस तो दूर का बात है। इंडिया चाइना वॉर अगर होती है, जंग लड़ने का पहले इंडिया पैरालाइज्ड हो जाएगा, क्योंकि चाइना डिजिटली इंडिया को सैबोटेज
Yes, you're right.
और मैं समझना चाहूंगा वो सैबोटेज कैसे हो सकता है।
Why this? Why jung? You see, how will war with China start? It is not going to be aggression on the field like what we have seen in Galwan or anything of the sort. China has actually infiltrated the complete computer network systems, IT systems of all countries, because they provided such low-cost semiconductors, such low-cost electronic systems to the world, which have been included into your systems.
अब वो penetration से क्या होगी?
Yeah, penetration के लिए, if it has got some sort of a program in it which can be activated, and whenever it is online it can be activated, it can paralyze your complete systems. There have been evidences of complete banking system being paralyzed, your electricity system being paralyzed, your train system being paralyzed. Imagine at the time when war is about to come up, your complete electric systems are paralyzed, your complete traffic control systems are paralyzed, the trains banging into another train, your complete finance systems are paralyzed.
और ये रातों रात होंगे?
The kill switch is very much feasible. Now, how much of it has been infiltrated into the Indian system till now, we do not know. We have tried in the past to reduce it, and today's government has realized it with the bringing down of a Chinese drone by the Pakis, in which they have realized that the infiltration has taken place. And therefore, there is a necessity to control these second country import of Chinese products. We do not import from China, but Taiwan, Philippines. So the Chinese company is providing to them, and they indirectly is providing to us.
But Taiwan is an adversary of China.
They've got enough industrial relationship with them in a lot of components that come in. So does Indonesia has. So the conduit of these products coming into India can be through a second country, not directly from
in effect, आप ये कह रहे हैं जितना कंप्यूटर्स हम यूज कर रहे हैं, जितना सुपर कंप्यूटर्स हम यूज कर रहे हैं इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में, हमारा सारे मोबिलिटी में वो सारे चीज इंपोर्टेड हार्ड ड्राइव, हार्ड डिस्क एटसेट्रा से बनी हुई है, और वो सारे चीज कभी भी कोलैप्स कर सकता है अगर चाइना चाहे तो.
No, what I'm saying is that we got a large amount of imported content into our electronic structure in our country, civil and military. How much of it has been infiltrated by the Chinese remains a question mark in everybody's mind. How much is the capability to paralyze the complete system remains a question. However, certainly it is there. They have proved it and demonstrated.
अगर ऐसे है तो सरकार क्यों इंपोर्ट को अभी भी अलाउ कर रहे हैं?
भाई खुद बनाना पड़ेगा.
रातों रात वो कैपेबिलिटी
आपको बनानी पड़ेगी. Plus you will have to see now what is it that every time you come in, anytime a product comes in, a due scrutiny of it is done by the people who are empowered to do it, to certify whether there has been any kind of insertion of any kind of a software, any kind of a thing that may have been inserted into the system. A full scrutiny is done, and that scrutiny is done by qualified people to ascertain this factor. Because very difficult to make out whether this component originator is China or not. Like I told you, second and third conduit party. But at least you can make out whether something has been inserted into it. including certification and things like that. That is definitely is there. But more important than certification is physically inspecting it. Now that has come into a very, very big way in which it is being done by central agencies.
I wonder we have that capability to even scrutinize, because that requires a very advanced technical capability, an organization with so much of imported hardware.
Yes, so this is the danger that exists and the danger that needs to be neutralized.
We always thought that compromising of a system can happen only through software. What you're suggesting is a dead hardware can also compromise a system.
There are three types of hardware. One is the totally dumb hardware, does not communicate. One is the semi-intelligent hardware.
Example?
It computes somewhere. Like for example, a chip. It's been inserted into a particular thing. It is meant for the internal dynamics of a computer, but not meant to send outside. Now I put a program in it that whenever this hardware is connected over there, it will now act as an intelligent system. And they are certainly intelligent hardware, which has got the capability to communicate. So the minute the system is put into the network, the problems start off.
So what in turn you're suggesting is that the next war is not going to be really between rifles and rifles, but about space, about artificial intelligence, about...
It's going to start like this. It's going to start
about digital invasion.
It is going to start with paralyzing of the complete system.
Which is the digital invasion.
Which is the digital complete system, paralyzing the complete system. It will be gone side. You see, that old age of rifle against rifle is a different matter altogether. It is going to be long-range weaponry, destructive power, to cause destruction to the adversary country's economic assets and his military assets deep inside. It's firepower.
Wahan kya equal hai India?
No, well, we definitely have a problem. His second artillery is far superior to us. It's got tremendous capability. But what I said, it is deterrent. Can you hurt him? Yes, we can hurt him. Yes, we can hurt him.
But hum bhi tabah ho jayenge.
Oh yes, we'll have to face great amount of destruction.
Up until south?
Yes, with the ICBM, we can hit USA. Why can't he hit us south? He has got a long-range weaponry system that is available with us, but so can we. Please understand the fact that our aircraft, when they take off from a lower altitude with a greater weight. So our weapon delivery is far better. Our missiles may not have the commensurate range which his long-range weaponry has, but sufficient to carry out destruction in areas.
हम बेजिंग तक पहुंच पाएंगे.
हाँ जी?
हम बेजिंग तक पहुंच पाएंगे.
Yes, we'll be able to reach. Yes, we'll be able to reach them. So we can cause hurt to him. Like what did I say right in the beginning? A country, when it goes to war, it sets its objective. Can it attain its objective? What is the acceptable damage is ready to accept? If it is beyond that, it won't go to war.
क्या आप इंडिया चाइना का वॉर फोर्सी करते हैं? आपको लगता है हो सकता है?
Yes, war can take place between India and China. Definitely it can take place. And it's a real threat that we have to face. It is not Pakistan. It is China. And we need to deter this war with China. If we do not build up a capability, war is a certainty. But if we build up a capability, not only here in outer space also, please understand it's not only fighting in outer space. Your entire communication system is based on outer space. Suppose he blanks out all your satellites. He blanks out all your satellites. Either by physical destruction or by blanking out all your satellites. The communication systems are down. So what are you going to do? Your GPSs are down. Everything is down. So it is not only firing a weaponry or fighting against each other in outer war. Right now, the potential for blanking of your complete system is there, including your maritime communications, your maritime ships, everything.
General Rohit, कोई भी एक्शन का पीछे एक रीजन रहता है. हम किसी को मारते हैं कुछ लेने के लिए उससे. चाइना का क्या रीजन है इंडिया के साथ जंग करके? जमीन लेनी है, पैसे लेने हैं, धंधा करके ज्यादा फायदा है चाइना को इंडिया के साथ. तो क्यों इंडियन आर्मी में आप जैसे सीनियर जनरल ये समझते हैं कि चाइना इंडिया से जंग करेगी?
देखिए, फिर से मैं बोल रहा हूं, चाइना तभी जंग करेगी अगर इट इज श्योर ऑफ अचीविंग इट्स ऑब्जेक्टिव्स without causing itself damage economically, militarily and into its
क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है? जमीन तो नहीं चाहिए उनको.
So नहीं आप देखिए, what are the you must talk about what are the disputes with China. There are disputed area with China, as far as Ladakh is concerned. The second is Arunachal Pradesh. McMahon Line in 1914 gave the Arunachal Pradesh to us, to India, complete Arunachal Pradesh. However, China says that the Ladakh monastery is connected to the Tawang monastery and therefore Arunachal Pradesh belongs to them. It's the areas of dispute. We have no dispute per se in Uttaranchal and Himachal, but these two areas we have dispute. Another disputed areas come in Doklam. Doklam is just north of the Siliguri corridor, which has now come because of Mohammad Yusuf, the Prime Minister who was in next power in Bangladesh. And it has come into being because it's a threat to our complete eastern areas. These are the areas of dispute that are there. Plus, on the line of actual control, we got a line of actual control. There are the areas of differing perception, lines of differing perception. There is no demarcated line. We never exchanged maps. We have not exchanged anything. There is perception कि भाई Chinese says इतने किलोमीटर अंदर हमारी एरिया है, हम बोलते हैं कि इतना किलोमीटर एरिया हमारा है, तो इस एरिया के अंदर दोनों साइड वो भी पेट्रोल करते हैं, हम भी पेट्रोल करते हैं. It's a points of flash that may take place.
और ये कभी भी चिंगारी के जैसे
चिंगारी है. It has taken place in the past. The face off that has taken place over 4 years has taken place because of this. Because you got in the 1993 agreement for peace and tranquility, both sides signed on the fact as to how peace and tranquility will be maintained in the line of actual control, in which wherever two sides meet, they have a flag off in both sides, and after a flag off, they go back to their respective places.
लद्दाख में किसी भी फ्लैग ऑफ में आप शामिल थे?
हाँ जी, बहुत बार ये था.
कैसे होती है उस समय पे energy level?
No. You do not heighten your energy levels to aggression with Chinese. You do not do so. Neither does he raise his weapon, neither do you raise your weapon.
And how
it was done in Galwan. They've been done in a number of issues where it has taken place, but no shot has been fired.
Yeah.
They have been fisticuffs, they've been pushing, shoving. Yeah. It took place in Daklam.
How were you communicating with the Chinese yourself? What was the language?
It is very difficult because our troops speak in their language, but they do we have interpreters with semblance of it, but we got interpreters in Chinese, which are on the Indian side. You got interpreters in the Chinese side who understand English. So a sort of modus operandi of communication there. Like? However, you got flags and the flag banners. The banners are written out here. The banner is very simple. This territory belongs to India. Please go back. He will say, this territory belongs to China. Please go back. Both the sides, go back. In the recent agreement of after the Ladakh standoff, it has been agreed that there will be disengagement and buffer zones shall be created, and thereafter, after you have achieved this kind of a thing, there will be a withdrawal of forces that have now come into being.
I would like to understand your personal experience. When you were meeting your Chinese counterpart, what kind of body language did a Chinese general of your level, of your rank, what kind of body language? Are they as understanding and logical as you were?
I would say that they are meek.
Is it?
Yes, they are so scared of the Indian soldier, of their capabilities. They are meek. You must understand, our soldiers have faced war, whether it is in counterinsurgency, whether in Kargil, they have faced aggression. They have been in combat areas. They are well versed with high altitude warfare. They have served in Sichuan, in high altitude up to 18,000, 20,000, 22,000, 24,000. They have better lung capacity, better capabilities to exist there. They understand the conditions much better. They're physically more fitter. Why do you think robotics has come into China? It's to replace the Chinese soldier, which is not capable of firing a war in high altitude. They're not capable of it. They're scared of our soldiers over there. They're scared of the capability of our soldiers. Within a period of few hours, our soldiers went and occupied Gorkha Hill, Mukong, all these areas. They occupied. Within a few hours, they went and occupied it. They have that capability. The Chinese do not have this capability.
General Rohit, Indian Defense Research Wing, हाल ही में एक रिपोर्ट आई है. There is a deficit of 85% in missiles for Indian Army and 50% in launches. मतलब इतना कम है. सच या झूठ?
Yes, there's deficiency of munition in various categories, not only missiles, others categories also. But then let's take it with a pinch of salt. As the destructive capability of your weapon system में munition increase होता है, वैसे वैसे actually आपके holding decrease होना चाहिए. Because if a weapon can provide twice the destruction as previously, your holding should come down. The authorization has remained the same despite your destructive capabilities going up. That all armies have deficiencies. What is more important is surge capability. वो surge capability आपके industry के पास होनी चाहिए. Now, when you don't go to war overnight.
But we are not manufacturing a lot of this either. We are importing.
Now so you have to have the surge capability to meet the requirement in a month, month and a half, 2 months, to make up the deficiency as fast as possible.
Scenario A, जंग छिड़ गया, अचानक कुछ हुआ, आप कहाँ से वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेबिलिटी बनाएंगे?
देखिए, अगर आपका जंग छिड़ गया ओवरनाइट, तो फर्स्टली योर कंप्लीट geopolitical situation, your complete capabilities have been null and void. You don't go to war like this. No country goes to war कि आज बैठो, आज हम लड़ने जाएंगे.
But गलवान ऐसी हुई?
नहीं, गलवान is not a लड़ाई. Please.
But वो होते बच गए.
No, गलवान is not a लड़ाई. This is not लड़ाई. You see, has India gone to war? Please answer this question. Has India gone to war? India gone to war. Kargil was not a war. Localized.
India कभी भी
1971 was not a war. It was localized.
जनरल रोहित, इंडिया कभी भी वॉर में नहीं जाएगा. अगर होगी तो एग्रेशन को हैंडल कर, और एग्रेशन कभी भी अचानक हो सकती है. दो बार हुआ. गलवान में हुई, पाकिस्तान से साथ कई दफा एग्रेशन हुई. उस हालत में अगर एडिक्वेट इक्विपमेंट्स, अम्यूनिशन या मॉडर्नाइजेशन ना होता होगा, तो वो कैसे लड़ाई जीत पाएंगे आप? अचानक तो नहीं बनेगी.
I am again saying what you require is adequate munition. कितना आपको सीमित तरीके से आपको munition और weapon systems चाहिए हैं to be a deterrent to a different country, to aggressor country, prospective aggressor country. साथ में आपको surge capability चाहिए. Surge capability मतलब कि इंडस्ट्री आज लेवल A तक है, अगर वो सर्च कैपेबिलिटी लगाता है तो A 3 times कैपेबिलिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्शन कर सकता है.
जनरल रोहित, क्या वो भी है हमारे?
वो ही प्रॉब्लम है. सर्च कैपेबिलिटी ऑफ इंडस्ट्री इज लैकिंग इन आवर कंट्री टुडे. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, इंडिया इज अ सर्विस इंडस्ट्री largely. Our production industry is far lower. If today our GDP is high, it's because of our service industry, not because of our production.
तो करे क्या?
So that is something which the government has to concentrate on. You can't do it with 1.8% of the GDP going to defense. You need much more. You need a 3.5% GDP to go minimum into defense. I've written an article on this. If you do not have that capability to it, I'm not talking about 7 to 8% which China is putting into defense, and that also is what it shows us. It must be much more. At least put in 3.5% of the GDP into defense to be able to raise our capabilities.
Senior management पे थे, procurement में, क्या ये सारे issues flag करने के लिए आपको scope भी दिया जाता था?
Yes, definitely.
या आवाज दबा दिया जाता था?
No. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, इसमें क्या होता है, इट्स नॉट कि एक आदमी बोल रहा है. इट इज अ ग्रुप. नाउ द ग्रुप इज मेड आउट ऑफ द MOD. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द ISA, Ministry of Defense. We also belong to Ministry of Army. We belong to the Ministry of Defense. We are an attached force. The military headquarter IDS, Integrated Defense Staff. There are various outline plans that are made out, like a 10-year prospective plan, a 5-year prospective plan, a capability development plan, and a 2-year annual acquisition plan. It is made out, consulting everybody. The actual executing thing is a 2-year acquisition plan, annual acquisition plan, which is put into force for purposes of acquisition. This time, the government has said we've been able to expend the complete defense budget. It's been a very big thing.
No, I understand.
The issue is that the defense budget needs to be higher for defense procurement.
I understand. Despite this very brilliant multi-layered management process of procurement, you still do not have lighter weapons.
No, yes.
You do not have rocket launchers, adequate number. You do not have enemy foe identifications.
You're right.
You do not have adequate amount of night vision. Some has come now, but very few. You do not have exoskeletons.
You're absolutely right.
So with such brilliant multi-layered procurement management, part of which you were there, you do not have the basics.
You're absolutely correct. We need much more. We need much more. We need to hasten our procurement systems far better than what are they now.
Anti-tank missiles.
No, let's not get into things. You see, semantics of
anti-tank missiles, you yourself admitted that it's 2 generations below par.
The pace of expansion of the defense budget, not only the defense budget for capability building needs to be far higher to what I said, 3.5% of the complete GDP, but the pace at which it can be developed needs to be far faster.
और ये pace slow क्यों है? Bureaucracy, red tape.
I tell you very simply. Try and understand this aspect. One is trials. You want to carry out a complete trial of the equipment in various environment, various terrain conditions, which takes a long time. We need to allow foreign technology to get into our Indian defense industry. We have done it.
There's another fear for that. Yeah, but I want to understand this bit. There is a lot of talk about red tapeism, bureaucracy, which doesn't even allow the minister to act fast. Even if a minister wants to come in and change things overnight, the bureaucracy wouldn't, and he can't override the bureaucracy. So is there a lot of bureaucracy in procurement at the government level, which the army can't override, the minister can't override? I'm talking about the IS officers.
You see, one is probity. The other is hastening the procedure. Both are separated out. Because probity demands more amount of diligence, more scrutiny, more everything. And hastening of the procedure wants more shortcutting of the procedure.
क्या चाइना वेट करेगा ये
नहीं करेगी the complete system. आप बिल्कुल ठीक बोल रहे हो. The complete system needs a change to have that capability to counter China to deterrence capability.
तब तक चाइना इंतजार करे, इंडिया अपना सिस्टम बदले.
अभी तक का तो रुका हुआ है और हमारी capability, but our capability needs to build. We cannot sit on our haunches and say that our capabilities are okay. No, they need to build rapidly.
जैसे ऑफिसर, सीनियर ऑफिसर, आपके लिए ये फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग नहीं था?
फ्रस्ट्रेशन तो बहुत होती है कि आदमी बोलता है कि क्यों नहीं प्रोक्योरमेंट जल्दी हो रही है. फ्रस्ट्रेशन खाली हमें नहीं है, फ्रस्ट्रेशन से ज़्यादा इंडस्ट्री में है. आप ये देखिए कि अगर आपने एक सिस्टम डेवलप करना है, मैंने उसके अंदर पूंजी डाली है, अपना पैसा डाला है, वेदर बाय लोन्स और अपने जेब से, वेदर इज भारत फौज, एल&टी और इवन अ स्मॉल स्टार्टअप और एमएसएमई, सब ने अपना पैसा डाला है. आपका इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड फॉर अ पर्सन टू गेट द वेपन सिस्टम, गेट अ ऑर्डर, वो भी एक कॉम्पिटिटिव ऑर्डर, एंड देन फॉर द पेमेंट टू बी मेड इन इंस्टॉलमेंट्स, जो उसने पैसा डाल रखा है, करोड़ों रुपए डाल रखा है, उसको तो वो रियलाइज नहीं कर पाता है. तो पिंच तो उसको ज्यादा है. मुझे तो फ्रस्ट्रेशन ये हो रही है कि कैपेबिलिटी मेरी बिल्ड नहीं हो रही, उसको फ्रस्ट्रेशन ये हो रहा है कि मैंने जॉब बैठ के इन्वेस्टमेंट करी है, उसके इन्वेस्टमेंट का रिटर्न नहीं मिल रहा. और अगर उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट का रिटर्न नहीं मिलेगा, देन व्हाई विल ही प्रोड्यूस दैट सर्च कैपेबिलिटी व्हिच
रोज सुबह पीटी करते वक्त जो ट्रेनर है वो जवान को कहता है कुर्बानी किस चीज के लिए?
कोई ट्रेनर अपने शिष्य को नहीं बोलता है कुर्बानी। ये तो टेररिस्ट है। हम यूनिफॉर्म सोल्जर हैं। हम ना कि दुश्मन को मारते हैं, अपना सेफ्टी भी देखते हैं। हम जिहादी नहीं हैं। द वर्ड कुर्बानी इज अ जिहादी वर्ड। वी आर नॉट जिहादीज। We are uniformed soldiers, trained army. We do not get our people killed for no rhyme or reason.
General Rohit, conventionally, there was always this sense of competition between the army chiefs of the three wings, the Navy, the Air Force, and artillery. All of them saying that we are more important than the other. And over time, it was settled that, look, artillery cannot win the battle without the support of the Air Force. Do you think that there's going to be a fourth wing, or there is a need to have a fourth wing? And if so, what should that be?
We certainly need a fourth dimension of war. And that is being done in part, but not in full. I would look at electronic warfare, artificial intelligence, robotics, which can be built up in the complete system that is there. Also, what I talked about earlier, outer space.
So give a name to your fourth wing. The three wings are artillery, Navy, Air Force.
No, it's Army, Navy, Air Force, and outer space. Space. Because you are going to fight a large volume of robotic war in outer space.
And how soon should Government of India?
It should be there. It's already there. For that matter, it is already there. We are aware of the fact that the defense wing has been opened up. The outer space wing has been opened up in the military. We are nowhere near as far as the advanced countries go. People like China, US, Russia. China has far outstripped Russia and USA.
On this fourth wing, it would only have engineers, technical experts.
No.
Doesn't need to have regular army men, right?
It will have a regular army also. They're going to fight in outer space.
General Rohit, देश करीब है, गांव में पानी पहुंचाना है, शौचालय बनाना है, या फोर्थ विंग आउटर स्पेस आर्मी के लिए बनाना है?
देखिए,
ये मजबूरी बहुत कठिन है.
Government will do what the public wants. If your public is educated, understands what I'm saying, deterrent capability, understand the fact of outer space capability, understand the issue of artificial intelligence, robotics, and all these issues that are there, understand that we are far down in our deterrent capability, then the question is raised to the public, to the government, as to why it is not being done. So greater amount of GDP will come to the defense to raise our capability. If the government is not getting this kind of a pressure from the public, then it will only do that what it considers as sufficient, and roadways, पानी, ये electricity, ये सब अच्छी है, बहुत अच्छी है. पर जब आप कंट्री के डिफेंस के बारे में बात करते हो तो आपको अपनी जो पेटी है ना वो कसनी पड़ेगी, पब्लिक को कसनी पड़ेगी. They should be able to say कि ठीक है, मैं अपनी पेटी कसता हूँ, आप हमारी कैपेबिलिटीज, मिलिट्री कैपेबिलिटीज बढ़ाइए, मैं कसता हूँ, मैं कसने के लिए तैयार हूँ.
आप पब्लिक कहते कैसे?
आप क्यों नहीं कहेगी? आप नाराबाजी नहीं करते हैं, मेरे बैठकर रोड खराब है, मेरी ये खराब है, मेरा ये खराब है, मुझे बैठकर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं मिल रही है, मेरे रोड में पॉट होल्स हैं, बंदा मर जाता है, ये नहीं बोलते हैं. पर आगे अगर आप आवाज खड़ी करेंगे कि भाई हमारी कैपेबिलिटी, हमें एजुकेट करिए कि हमारी कैपेबिलिटी क्या है,
इसका मतलब है, ये पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स को अपना इलेक्शन मुद्दे में इनको शामिल करने.
एब्सोल्युटली, इट शुड बी पार्ट ऑफ देयर मैनिफेस्ट.
एक बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है जो हम पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स का बात कर रहे हैं. बरसों से इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स को इफेक्ट करते रहे, वो है करप्शन इन डिफेंस प्रोक्योरमेंट. राजीव गांधी का सरकार गए, उसका पहले डिफेंस मिनिस्टर रिजाइन किए. कोई भी डिफेंस मिनिस्टर कुर्सी में बैठता है, सबसे पहले सोचता है कि मेरा सफेद कुर्ते पे दाग ना लगे, मैं सामान उतना ही खरीदूंगा या वैसे ही लूंगा जिसमें कोई फिंगर आउट ना कर पाए, जिस वजह से डिफेंस प्रोक्योरमेंट डिले हो जाती है, जिस कारण से ब्यूरोक्रेसी टेक ओवर करता है डिफेंस प्रोक्योरमेंट में, मंत्री चाहते हैं तब भी।
I would say, yes, there have been aberrations in the past. In couple of cases, not all, I mean in couple of cases. First, second issue. The defense acquisition procedure में इतने layers हैं कि probity is ensured at the cost of speeding up the process. The procedures, if not followed correctly, it is in the right of the MOD / the Raksha Mantri to say that the procedures have not been carried out and it will lead to a problem in the defense procurement. Therefore, not to carry it out. However, I don't think any Raksha Mantri has been there in our country. कोई ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ जिसने बोला कि नहीं यार स्लो डाउन कर दो आप प्रोक्योरमेंट को। ऐसा कोई नहीं है, ऐसी कोई चीज़ नहीं है।
रक्षा मंत्री नहीं कहते, ब्यूरोक्रेसी
नहीं कहता कि बैठ कर कि आप स्लो डाउन करिए प्रोक्योरमेंट।
क्या IAS
You cannot blame the IAS officer / the whoever is sitting on the chair giving an order or trying to sabotage a case. No, I do not accept that thing. I do not accept that thing. They, yes, can be careful, because if a case falls because of wrong procedures being used, it leads to major problems. अरे भाई कॉन्ट्रैक्टर का आपका कैग का ऑडिट हो जाता है, all these things come into being, it becomes the public statement, the opposition raises in the parliament.
एक पूरा जनरल इलेक्शन इसी मुद्दे पे फाइट किया गया था कुछ ही साल पहले, राफेल जेट को खरीदने को लेके। क्या एक पॉलिटिशियन, क्या एक नेता डरेंगे नहीं कि भैया इलेक्शन का मुद्दा ना बन जाए, क्या दोबारा एक बोफोर्स ना बन जाए? और वो डर एक्सप्रेस कैसे होती है?
The certain decisions when they are big procurement, massive procurement like Rafale, your artillery weapon systems, your missiles, etc. These are strategic decisions. They not only have to do with the equipment is good, it's cleared as trials, there's no problem on the equipment.
It's about at what cost?
No, please try and understand. These are strategic decisions in which the inter-country relationship comes into being. You buy the T-90 from Russia because you got a erstwhile industrial line that is existing for producing of Russian equipment. You buy the Rafale from France because you got erstwhile French equipment that has been coming into the country.
जब आप रशिया से कुछ खरीदते हैं, there are no accusations of kickbacks, there are no accusations of middlemen. Why is that? With any other country, there's always middleman popping up.
I frankly cannot answer this kind of a thing. पहली बात तो Russian equipment is controlled by a single body known as Rosoboron, ROE. No individual private company is supposed to get in touch with us.
Is that a good system?
It's the socialist system that they follow, in which one nodal agency does it. हमारे में DPSUs और OFB ऐसी चीजें थी before private industry has come into being. Now private industry is in a big way. So it's a capitalist kind of a system that we are trying to evolve. The social system of OFBs and DPSUs are set aside. It is very easy to allege when private industries are there.
We all know who are the defense dealers.
So
दिल्ली में ही है.
You see, जब private industry.
But you all know who are the defense dealers. दिल्ली में है, बड़े-बड़े कोठिया है उनका. So defense dealers तो एक legitimate entity बन चुके. Without defense dealers, can there be a defense deal?
What do you mean by defense dealer? Middlemen?
Yeah.
No, middlemen are banned. In the issue, there are no middlemen in defense deals. It is an issue of integrity. You sign a document. There has been no middleman in the defense deal. If found, your case will fall. It is the letter of integrity which is signed by every company concerned. There are no middlemen allowed in defense deals.
On paper, yes.
No, even on ground. If it is detected, you will fall. The case will fall. If I was the ADGWA,
how was Augusta helicopter purchased?
Oh, that's a long time back. And after that, all middlemen have been banned. After that, it has been executed. That's a long time back, Augusta Westland case, where a middleman was alleged to have been bribing.
Do middlemen really come in black suits with a bag and do a deal? They don't.
They don't. If I was the ADGWA...
Middlemen are not somebody who can ever be located,
No.
identified. They are facilitators and quiet guys behind the scene.
No. It is absolutely wrong to even presume it. There are sufficient capability in the Indian defense industry, including military officers after retirement who taken up jobs in the defense industry.
Were you offered one?
Oh yes, I was offered one, but I didn't take it up. It's a different matter. I went into consultancy rather than getting into this, or advising people as to how to build up their industry,
So-
rather than get into procurement.
Yeah, but very senior officers like you are offered.
No, but I do not.
By a representative in the representative
For what?
offices.
For what?
Well, why not a French company have you on their payroll?
Yes, so advise them. To advise them. To tell them as to how to enter the Indian defense industry. Tell them, advise them as to what the Indian industry needs. To advise them that what is the terrain configuration of the Indian industry, what kind of product would be best for the defense. To empower the defense by becoming a wire media between them.
You're
and
an
them.
honest officer.
Not to bribe. It's not possible. You see, बैठ करके जो पब्लिक सोचती है कि यार आप बस्ता उठाकर एमओडी में किसी के पास जाकर बोलो यार ये लो लाख रुपए करोड़ रुपए आप इसको कर दीजिए. जैसे मैंने बोला डिफेंस एक्विजिशन प्रोसीजर में लास्ट इफ आई नो अ फाइल ट्रैवल्स थ्रू 32 पीपल. यू गोइंग टू ब्राइब ऑल ऑफ देम? हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल? ये सब कहने की बातें हैं. ये सब कहने की बातें हैं.
Why don't we have women officers in Indian Army? Particularly in the ground force, in artillery. We still see some of them in Navy or a couple of them in Air Force. But why not in your wing?
Women officers are going into the army. Firstly, they are in the army, but then the non-combat force. But not combat arms. Combat arms is infantry,
Yeah.
armored corps, and mechanized infantry.
We see that a lot of that.
These are the three arms in which the women are not there.
Israelis are there, Americans are there,
Yes.
even Russians. Why is that? British. Why is that we don't have?
They will have to go to the forward line. There's a possibility of them getting captured.
But professional army, adversary का आपका दुश्मन का भी professional army, क्या एक Indian professional army women के साथ rape या mutilation करेंगे?
You see, combat is a different situation altogether. You do not have the wherewithal to have women in a combat zone. Please understand, we do not have the wherewithal. We are not ready for it. We are not emotionally ready for it. It is not possible. Our culture does not allow it, to accept it.
आपने शादी जिससे की वो आर्मी मैन का बेटी नहीं थी, राइट? बट एक कल्चर है आर्मी सोसाइटी में, क्लब में मिलना जुलना और शादी उन्हीं से करना जो अपना कम्युनिटी से, आर्मी कम्युनिटी से हो, राइट? किसी का बेटी हो, भले वो प्रोफेशनली अलग कुछ कर रहा है. क्या ये बदल रहे सोच? लोग आर्मी के बाहर शादी करना चाह रहे हैं, पर्टिकुलरली लड़कियां जिनका पिताजी आर्मी में है, वो एक को आर्मी मैन को शादी नहीं करना चाहते.
देखिए, which girl would not like to marry a man who is living life less than ordinary? If I was a woman, I would want that. I would want an exceptional man, a man who is doing something less than ordinary. If I was a woman. But then my makeup as a woman would have to be that. I would have to take the pressures of life, these pressures of separation, pressures of not knowing what is going on, not knowing what daily phone, not having a daily phone, not capable of watching your
but what you're saying,
children born not knowing the father.
Yeah, but that's very small percentage of people who are in the front.
How can you say
a
that?
majority? Peacetime army doesn't have the entire force on the border. It's perhaps in rotation. 20% of the entire force is in the border, and that too in rotation.
It is almost today with the Ladakh crisis and the East crisis, it is almost to the tune of 30 to 35% of your force in the Ladakh area.
I was marginally close. I said 20, you said 30.
There are certain areas in the pickets, since I've been in command over there of a counterinsurgency force, you can't communicate. You don't have mobiles communication, you don't have anything of the sort.
So in effect, you're saying that women are, with passing time, is much lesser. So they want a protected life. There is a paradigm shift.
No. Sorry, no. There are sufficient amount of ladies, girls who want to get married to army officers. All I'm saying is, like when an army officer comes in, he should accept the life of the army. Similarly, the wife should accept the life in olive green. We have a book, Married to the Olive Green. it's a major issue, married to the olive green. Every night you find a group of officers in the house asking you to make paranthas and bhujia for you. It's you are literally into a family. You're not married your husband only.
And you have two bright children who have not followed your footsteps, moved out of army.
Yes, they have, because they excelled.
I mean, did you try and make them understand that, no, my father was an armyman, was an officer. I spent 40 years in army. At least one of my children should be in army. Both of them are not.
Why them? Their grandfather was in the army, your father was in the
does
army.
that
My great-grandfather.
थोड़ा सा sad करता है आपको ये बात?
No.
Honestly बताइए.
No, it does not. You see, every person has to choose his future and the way he wishes to do so. And every path.
No, that's the father talking. That's the father talking.
No.
What does the army general say?
No, the army general does not say that. Army general says very simply is that we want talent. We want people who can adopt this way of life. We would be very happy to have second generations coming into the army. Why my battalion? My battalion, not only the officers are second and third generation, the men have got second and third generation coming in. I belong to a battalion.
Did you try and persuade your children?
No, I did not try to affect the children, because there is no point in having a person coming into the army who does not wish to come to the army. The whole crux of the problem is what? The crux of the problem is that the person does not come into the army for the pursuit of pay. He comes for the purpose of a way of life.
And can the government do something about this?
Yes, definitely.
Otherwise there's going to be a debacle waiting for us.
Oh, yes.
Because if you do not get good officers, and at an officer level, you need IITians, you need MBA graduates, you need well-educated commerce graduates, and a whole lot of other people.
The issue is the quality. And the quality is something at which the army pitches it at a very, very high level. Whether they meet the quality or not, that is the issue. The men are retiring at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years of service, coming in at 19 years. So he is well into 32 to 33 years. His entire future is in front of him. When he goes out, he does not have a job. The Agnivir program has been introduced, which allows them to move out and have some sort of a thing.
Do you support Agnivir?
Oh yes, I certainly support Agnivir. It's a good program. Let's see how they perform in operations under fire, which some have now. And if that be so, the only concern of people would be that can they perform under fire? And if that is obviated, it definitely has an asset.
So,
but the government, what should the government do? I'm saying that the people who are in regular service and moving out of the army, the other men, the soldiers, you have to find a secure second profession for them once they leave the army. If they do not have it, then these men are left out in the street.
And can that be police?
Oh yes, it can be police, it can be the paramilitary forces, the industry.
Can a Jawan with 4 years of service in army, the Agnivir, come out and become a security guard, a private security guard? Will his morale and self-respect allow him to become a private security guard? That's what the government is suggesting.
Yes, so the private security guard is a no-no. This is not what these men are trained for. Yes, you give them a respectable job. They have got talent, they've got capability, they've got integrity, they have the ability to follow instructions. So you use them, you train them. The issue is retraining them for preparation in the corporate sector or in the civil street. So
जनरल रोहित, बहुत सारे रिटायर्ड ऑफिसर्स डिफरेंट लेवल पे, सीनियर लेवल पे, जो आर्मी से रिटायर होके प्राइवेट सेक्टर में जॉब ढूंढते हैं, उनका एक बहुत बड़ा चुनौती है प्राइवेट सेक्टर का टॉप मैनेजमेंट और आर्मी का टॉप मैनेजमेंट बिल्कुल अलग किस्म से काम करते हैं और वो खुद को एडजस्ट नहीं कर पाते.
Refocus and retraining.
क्या आर्मी मैन सुइटेबल नहीं है प्राइवेट कंपनी का जॉब्स में, इवन एट द टॉप मैनेजमेंट, क्योंकि वो कल्चर अलग है. सिविल सोसाइटी का जो टॉप मैनेजमेंट जॉब्स है.
Civil street is not bad, it's good. And the issue is they got a system of working which is different to the army. You have to adapt to it. You also have to empower yourself with fresh qualification, fresh talent and fresh capability which needs to be carried out.